what is the number one point you have for using your leadership to make an impact?
Well, number one is to acknowledge that every one of us are leaders in something.
Yeah.
Every one of us are leaders. And simply because this is, to me, using your leadership is about owning your gifts, your talent, your uniqueness, your spark, your piece that you have brought with you into this game of life.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is, in order to use your leadership, you do need to actually say, I am a leader.
Yeah.
First and foremost. So we can say that's awareness because that's how we always start these. but at the same time, it's like acknowledging it and assuming the role.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Well, here we are, another deliciously motivated mindset conversation with Debz, that would be me, and Moira, that would be
me. That would be me.
That would be her. Oh, today's topic, using your leadership to make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now this is a
this
goodie.
needs a big drum roll. This is
actually a different one to what we normally talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
it feels really different.
Yes.
It feels really
Stepping
different.
into a different arena. Woohoo.
Yeah. So, of course, welcome to Moira, but also welcome to our listeners, old and new. And that when I say old and new, I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about people who've listened to us before and ones who haven't listened to us before.
Welcome.
So welcome to our conversation. What we like to do is there's a couple of things that we'll do is we will do a little check-in at the start, which I'm going to talk about, but also we give you tips to help you look and recognize and understand what we're talking about. So make sure you got your pen and paper or your lead and your pencil or you're typing with your notes on your phone. Just make sure you've got those things around for when we kick off. So, but before we kick off, we have a check-in. Actually, I don't even know if we label it anything. Do we call it anything?
Not really. We usually say it's in like an assessment.
Assessment, okay.
Energy assessment.
An energy assessment, yeah, an EA. And that energy assessment is where you see where you are mentally, physically, emotionally going on right now. And 10, the number 10 is the Christmas tree lights in the box where you open the lid and you go, where do I even start? That is a 10.
Yes.
And that is a scary place to be. You know, that whole,
feeling so stuck.
Oh, what am I going to do? Didn't even know. And all you just see is chaos. That's a 10. And then there's a different scale as it goes back up. And a 0 is just a harmonious, poised, present place to be in.
Feeling so zen.
Yeah, we're aiming to take you to that 0. If you're not that 0 already. So we check in with our number now, we check in with our number halfway through, and we check in with our number at the end just to see that you've been moving. And this assessment is actually a great little tool that if you're driving in the car and you're feeling a little bit mind racing ahead or anything like that, or you're worried about 20,000 things, just check in where you are with your number, because it's just quite a nice way to get you present to your body and your mind and go, oh, well, no wonder, because I've just hung up from the school who said this is what's going on and I'm racing to pick up my child, or just oh, that makes sense. That's all it is. Oh, that makes sense.
Totally.
So in saying that, Moira, what's your number that we're starting off with right now?
I'm going to say 2. And that's simply because as we came into this, I've got this sort of sore throaty chest thing happening.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm like, well, isn't that interesting? What's there? So I may have to mute myself a few times and cough.
Well, I had that, and then I went, oh no, this is a goodie, and so much so that my throat is cleared. I just threw it to Moira.
I got it.
She got it. So I'm actually going to say, I'm a 1 for this, and the reason I'm saying that is because I feel vibrant, I feel alive, and I think this is so different for us to talk about. So there's a little bit of anticipation, excitement, on this. So we're gonna. So Moira's a 2, I'm a 1. We now write that on a little piece of paper and we put it aside. We don't think about it, and now we get into our tips. And then halftime you're going to check in with yourself, and then at the end we're going to do a big checkup. So topic: using your leadership to make an impact. Oh, what is the number 1 point you have for using your leadership to make an impact?
Well, number 1 is to acknowledge that every one of us are leaders in something.
Yeah.
Every one of us are leaders. And simply because this is, to me, using your leadership is about owning your gifts, your talent, your uniqueness, your spark, your piece that you have brought with you into this game of life.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is, in order to use your leadership, you do need to actually say, I am a leader.
Yeah.
First and foremost. So we can say that's awareness, because that's how we always start these. but at the same time, it's like acknowledging it and assuming the role of leader in your own unique capacity.
And I think, I know Dr. John DeMartini would say the person with the most certainty rules the game. And life is a game.
It is.
So I love that person with the most certainty. And that's exactly it, is the person with the most certainty rules your game. There's people you can argue with and people you can't, but when they've got that certainty, sometimes it goes to ego or humble, jumps into that. But I love that. So that's own your uniqueness. And I think about this, I think we've had this conversation actually probably many times before, is your uniqueness has actually stayed with you throughout.
Absolutely. It's the thread you've been following right from day one of this life. Yeah.
So if we were to break down that leadership or that uniqueness, that thread, look at how it's worked.
Yes.
So for me, I have been, I was a receptionist, and then I was pretty much straight into being a PA, and then an EA, which is personal assistant, and then executive assistant, which was only just a little bit of extra money, and the P moved to an E. What's the difference? But I was still a problem solver.
Right.
And if I was to look at that, if I was to say being those things, I was a problem solver. I was time management solving, flight solving, any problems that came that way, it was problem solved before it got to the boss. And now look, in my business now, I'm no longer a personal assistant or executive assistant, but that same thread is still there. I'm a problem solver. You tell me the problem in your mind and we solve it. And so it's just looking at that leadership to make that impact. Once you recognize that leadership, that thread for me is problem solving,
right?
Basically.
Yep.
And so it's recognizing what is that thread.
Right. And sometimes that takes a little bit of detective work within yourself, because it's to review and reflect. Because for me, I would say similar to you, problem solving for me, but also for me too, it's about following your intuition and trusting your inner wisdom. So that's the thing that's followed me, is that yes, I am a problem solver. I'm an out of the box problem solver.
Yeah.
That I will help people listen to that inner guidance that's there all the time. So it's not like me saying, here's your solution. It's more like, hello, I'm going to sit you down and help you open up to your inner wisdom and wake up to the fact that your answers are looking for you too. And so that is a form of leadership. That's me leading with my inner truth, with my intuition and my skills. And the impact that it ripples out is to have people empowered and in touch with their inner thread too, right?
Yeah. I think the word leadership can scare people off. You know, a teenager can't go, well, I can't be a leader, or a 10-year-old, child, oh, I can't be a leader. And they look at the prime ministers, or they look at the people on TV or social influencers, because social media play a huge role in leadership. And it's not about debunking, and I'm just going to say Kim Kardashian. It's not about saying Kim Kardashian's, a poor leader. She is a leader in her own right. And if you just look at those and know we all have that leadership in that, from that, but using our leadership to make an impact. And when I'm just going to say, how do I say this? We said it actually, and it's about not comparing yourself. I know we talked about it in the last episode, but I just can't quite remember. But it was about not comparing, going, Kim Kardashian's got all these followers, and she mentions
you were talking about envy. This is about coming into envy, right?
That's what it is. And that's it. So love other people's leadership, but don't have that envy for them.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say.
But the other thing too is that from what you were saying there too, is be careful not to glamorize this idea of leadership. Right? Yes, you're saying leadership. Oh, it's the president. It's the boss. Yes. It's but no. Even the cashier at Walmart is a leader in their zone of what they're doing.
And their zone of
yes, even the 10-year-old on the playground is still being the leader in their zone of genius, and how they show up and make decisions and choices and decide which game to play and which game not to play. Right?
Yeah. So who are you to tell someone they're not a leader? That's like the thing. The bus driver's a leader because they're providing that value to other people. And I guess that's the other thing, is what is a leader? Is somebody who provides value to others.
Yes.
Would that be it?
I agree. And so therefore, every single one of us on this planet is doing that. Even if it's just the service that you provided was you smiled at somebody.
Yeah.
You just maybe lit somebody else's world up, and that's you making an impact with your leadership skill.
Yeah. And you know what skills people have, and you go to them instantly. Like you know who to ask about electrical work, how to plumbing, someone can help you with a graphic artist, I need a website, whatever, you know those ones. But it can also be your preschool toddler is also leading the way today. Today I want to have a pink day and everybody has to wear pink. It's when you have those followers, I say followers, but I don't know if it's follower or someone who can stand beside you.
Or people that you're influencing, that's all.
Yeah. But not with I'm going to make everybody wear pink today.
Well, but the thing is that we can't make everybody do something, but we can influence them, because if in my example about smiling, maybe I am walking down the road and there's lots of people around me who are, head down looking at the ground, and then they decide to look up and we, meet eyes and smile. Maybe that's all it is. And so then I inspire somebody's mood to lift, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's it. Over and done with. I'm not making somebody do that, but my energy is there to say, you can step into this if you like. Yeah. And if not, it's still there. Right?
You can't pass your smile on to someone and then lose part of your smile.
That's right.
And I think that's a great, like, if I'm smiling at somebody, I'm not going to lose anything myself. All that's going to happen is they're going to receive the smile and smile back, or look at you perplexed or something. But you've planted a seed, and that's all you've done. So you can't, you're not giving away your last smile to somebody.
That's right.
You're still, there's enough smiles to go around.
There always is. And it can, and just in that exchange, it can open somebody to, I don't need to sit and listen to all the negative thoughts that are going around in my head. I can actually keep my head up and feel better, because maybe then in the receiving of a smile makes them smile, and then it's a reciprocal, feels good.
Yeah.
Right.
You definitely get a warm and fuzzy feeling from it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pass your smile to someone and then go into a slump. Yeah.
And so that's the thing, is that because that in itself is using your leadership to make an impact, is that every one of us has the power to impact another's energy, good or bad.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you can be in a real cranky, irritated mood and be snarling at everything around you. Not that I would, but so therefore you have the capacity to kind of make people go, oh, I'm not so sure I want to be in that space.
Well, you think of yourself and older people this is the thing. You go into if you're cranky and you go into an old person's house, I was thinking like a rest home, you can't be cranky in there.
No.
There's just something, it's like an unwritten rule. You just can't be cranky. You can't be cranky because you look around and you go, God, we're so grateful that we've still got a little bit of life left in some of us, or, you just can't be cranky. Mm-hmm. And I think that that to have that impact is gratitude. Oh, my favorite, the old G spot.
That's your favorite word. Absolutely.
I think gratitude and pivot are my two.
Yep.
But gratitude, be grateful for the moments when you're sitting in that 10, mm-hmm. and be grateful for the moments you're sitting in that 5, and be grateful for the moments you're sitting in that 1, and it's just being grateful for what you have and what you don't have right now. You can't, and that's being a leader.
Yes.
Being a leader, if I was to say that.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. Recently I traveled for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah. And you beat me.
I did. And it was a very interesting experience because things are very different now. There's less staff. There's people getting irritated. There's people being scared about oh, my luggage is going to not make it. Yeah. And so somebody said that to me. I can't remember which airport I was in, but somebody said that to me. Well, wasn't I scared that my luggage wouldn't arrive? And I said, no. No, because I've decided that this is going to be a really great trip and everything's going to go smoothly and well. And even when there was an announcement on the airport system asking everybody for their patience and their tolerance because they were short-staffed and baggage was going missing and whole story about it. I just kind of tuned it out and was still having this conversation, and she kind of said, so are you still okay with it? Are you now worried? Yeah, I said, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. And of course, it was fine. But the other part too, I did had a very smooth, excellent experience. But then just this past weekend, I was out for supper with some friends, and one of the guests were saying, oh, I want to avoid Air Canada. Air Canada is the absolute worst airline ever, blah, blah, blah. And I just let them continue the story and then said, I have nothing bad to say about Air Canada. I was fine. Because that's actually who I flew with.
Isn't it funny how people, we've got a couple of airlines, and one, when people go, oh, I flew this particular airline, people go, oh God, I'd never fly that. And I would never fly that. I just don't fly them because I have loyalty points with the other company, and
right.
It works for me. But it's interesting, people start to throw those stories at you. Oh, I'd never fly that, I'd never do that. It's like, okay, well, guess what? I've actually flown and I've survived. And it's just that. It's outside influences.
Yes. But what was funny was because he didn't know that I had flown Air Canada. He was just telling his like, never ever ever do this because they're terrible. They're the worst. Like, well, actually, beg to differ, because I was fine. It was all good. But like you say, it is external stories, and so me using my leadership capacity or whatever, I'm choosing. I'm going to choose the words, the thoughts, the energy that I put out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that when I think about outside influences, it's just be cautious of what you're going to let in.
Yeah.
Because you have your own stuff.
Yeah.
So let's just hold to what I have. I don't need more things, because their impact
exactly
could be something different. I think about surprise, the 4 agreements.
Of course.
And this is definitely a leadership thing. The
Definitely.
all
4 of them.
Yeah, 100% leadership. And so to me, a leader is somebody who is open and listens.
Mm-hmm.
It's present, but also aware of others and thoughts and energy, because there's sometimes you're not going to say things around certain people. Like I'll have a different conversation with my grandmother. Well, I used to have different conversations with her, and I was very cautious about swearing around her, incredibly cautious. So I'd be sitting there with my butt clenched, just making sure I could
comes out of my mouth,
but not swearing, and then other people, I wouldn't worry about it. So just being cautious of that. But the 4 agreements: be impeccable with your words, with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. That to me is true leadership there.
Yep.
And you're going to make an impact on everyone around. Even just people say to me, and you'll say it too, oh, you're so transparent, or you're so honest, or wow, you just speak freely. And it's like,
yes, that's being impeccable with your word, by the way.
Yeah, just forgetting that that's what it's about. Being a business coach, you can ask me what works and what doesn't work in my business. I'm going to tell you why, because I don't, it's not that I want you to shortcut it. I just want you to have the best you can. And, or actually definitely if you can shortcut certain processes and do this and not do this, I'm going to tell you that stuff.
Yep.
And so I guess a leader is also somebody who shares, who's transparent, and don't get me wrong, I do lie. Don't get me wrong, I'm not 100% truthful. There's things I lie on, and I pick and choose on my lies. But I am pretty transparent and pretty honest about, sometimes too honest. I have heard that.
I've heard that about me too. Yes, I've had that feedback too.
Could you have softened it? And when some people say, and I'm like, I did flip and soften it. You should have heard the first version in my head. Like, what, really? But I think that's that thing, is being transparent, and that comes back to don't take anything personally. Is actually just be yourself.
Absolutely. And so that, as you were describing that, it brought to my mind that leadership is about walking your talk. Yes. And that brings in the authenticity and the genuine part, because if it's by walking your talk that people can feel that. Like, for instance, I'm a meditation teacher. So I talk about breathing techniques and mindfulness and meditation. Well, I have my own practice I do every single day because it's important to me, right? It would be terrible if I was doing all these, teaching these types of things and didn't do it, right? Because then I'm out of integrity with me.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
That's exactly it. And when you're out of integrity with you, your body sort of tells you.
Yeah, kind of.
It sort of tells you. It sort of tells you. It tells you.
It does.
And being out of integrity with you is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't even do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy path to choose.
No, because it hits resistance. That hits resistance within you.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Yeah. Out of integrity, I'm just thinking of all the times I've said and done things. I'm like, oh God. Like my moon boot. One of my top lessons is my moon boot was get a professional. Don't think you can get a professional, delegate it to a professional. So I just thought I knew everything about my foot. Oh no, I can just do this. If I just stay in a moon boot, I'll just do this and I'll do this and I'll do this. No. And every professional when I surrendered and went to that professional, they all said, I wish you'd come to me earlier. I'm like, okay. So when I got to the third professional, I said to them, do not say you wish me to come to me earlier. I come to you early because I didn't. And the person was like, oh, I wouldn't. Like, you're here presented with me now. Let's get into it. And I was oh, you're the one. You're the one. Because every other one had made me feel bad about my decisions. Like, I don't want you to feel bad. I already feel bad that I've waited 10 weeks before I went and saw a professional because I thought I knew best. But and if I was out of integrity with my body because my body was telling me what to do and I was like, I know better. Right. No, my mind knows better. But no, my soul was saying, I don't think so. I don't think so. So 3 and a bit months in a moon boot.
But that's a really interesting part too, for people, a professional to be saying, you screwed up, you should have come earlier. That to me is not being very integrity bound leadership there.
I don't want to
criticizing you.
I already know what I've done. I'm still in the flippin' moon boot. I know I've done this. I don't need you to tell me, should have listened to me. I need to have listened to me. I told you so. It's like, I don't need that. I've already got that mind chatter, thank you, that I'm dealing with. I don't need, but it is that out of integrity. I mean, if you're going to a coach, you don't want them to go to you, what the hell were you thinking? Well, actually, I have said that to some people. What the hell were you thinking? Are you serious? Is this realistic or just la la land? Do you really think that's going to happen? So yeah, actually, no, I take that all back because I do laugh. I do. Just certain people, only people who I believe can help hold that. But I'm not. Yeah, okay, I do say you're bad. Yeah, okay, I do. In a different kind of way.
In a supportive way, but not in a way that will make somebody cringe or feel like they're not valuable.
Yeah, it's more valued. It's more really, come on. Let's have a laugh about this and let's get into it.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Not you need to go sit in the corner and start rocking because that's not cool.
Yeah, because you've screwed up. You're a bad person. That's not it. That's not actually being a very good leader anyway.
Yeah, and you'll know what your leadership skills are because people will come to you. So it is like people will come to you and ask you questions. Hey, I'm baking this. How do I do this? Or hey, I've got this tree. Whatever this. Or hey, I'm thinking about doing this new program. Can I run it past you? All these things. People will come to you, and you'll know what your skill is because if you don't know what your zone of genius is, listen. Listen what people
start paying attention to that. Yeah, definitely.
Because they're definitely going to ask you, what have people asked you about? You know, and so that's saying, I see the leader in you.
Yes,
you are
exactly.
making an impact. I want a piece of that pie. Little do they know they've already got that pie.
It is. It's that's them saying, I see this in you. You're really good at this, and I need you to guide me.
Yeah.
Or mentor me, or show me, or educate me, problem solve for me.
Yeah. I see this in you. Help me see it in me.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is, and so I trust that this has helped our listeners start to really feel into, we are all leaders. I think it's really important not to then sort of, oh yeah, but I'm not that type. Because we all are.
And I'm just going to talk about a little bit about desperation, because a leader is not desperate.
No, definitely not.
So you've heard the word hustle. Let's hustle. Fake it till you make it. That's not a leader. There's cringe. Don't fake it till you make it. Just make it. Just make it. Just because when you're faking it till you're making it, you are going against your core,
your natural ability.
You're trying to trick your body into doing things that aren't right. So just be aware of your desperation, because when you're desperate, you will never, the only impact you'll have is a negative impact on others.
Definitely.
So just be aware of your level of desperation in getting things done, you know. And I know Moira has a little three check-in when you're doing something, and I just turn away from Moira and I look at my other computer and it says, and she knows what I'm going to say. It's in my little love heart. Is this good for me?
Yes or no?
Is this good for others?
Yes or no?
Do I want to?
Yes or no?
and all three
have to be yes.
To be a yes, or
it's not. It's a no. Absolutely.
And it's just the three questions. Good for me, good for others, do I want to? That's it. And you can do that in 3 seconds.
Truly. And it's such a wonderful way to land into your hell yes.
I know.
Right.
And if you can answer yes to that, that's leadership. And if you can answer no to that and walk away,
that's leadership. Yep.
Yeah. And I think just recognizing that it's okay to say no. In fact, what did I say to somebody yesterday? Oh, so it was the day before. My days are blurred into one lately. And one of the things that she said, one of the greatest gifts you've actually given me is to say no. I was like, what? Just to say no to people and be able to walk away.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I use no quite often. But I forget that I've been in my business for 17 years. So I've really mastered that no. And it can take a while to say no, because you say that no and then you're like, oh, what if they do this, or what if they don't like me, or what if I need to get a private or what if, and what if they do?
Yeah.
What if they do invite you again just because you said no? But I think that's, that desperation and those no's are definitely just alerting you to the bigger picture here.
Definitely. And actually, that's a good point too, because leadership piece is about seeing the bigger picture. Right. And so that's the, if you're walking down a path and it starts getting problematic and a little bit resisty and issues coming up, then it's just like, wait, just pause for a second. What's the bigger picture? Right.
Yeah.
And
that pauses, stop and put your hand on your heart.
Truly.
Because
and maybe use those 3 questions.
Yeah. Yeah. It just grounds you. And when you're grounded and you just be present, 100% present, that's what it is. Is then that's leadership with the impact.
Yes.
You're giving yourself value.
Yes. Well, not even giving yourself a value, you're telling yourself the truth about your value.
Yeah.
Because your value is not something that you have to rise up to. It's intrinsic. It's there.
Yeah.
So that could be I am a valuable person. That's something that just thinking about self-worth. That all too often, and maybe this comes into this discussion about leadership too, is that, oh, it's something I have to earn. It's something I have to aspire to. It's something I have to qualify or learn or do something in order to get there. But it's actually not true. You're already there. You are worthy. You are a leader. And then what's next?
Yeah, so I'm going to add into and people can have this level of depression, and I'm jumping into that depression word because people go, oh, I used to be a leader in a company and now I'm not, or and now I'm homesick, or I used to be a runner and now I'm not, or
Right.
I used to have a lot of friends ask me questions and now I don't. And that can jump into the poor me mentality, and when you're sitting in that poor me, it's a lot harder to get out. Well, unless you start listening to our podcast a lot more.
That's right. That would get you out of it.
But that poor me is a downhill spiral.
Well, that's it's victim mode, right?
Yeah, victim, and that's definitely not victorious when we're sitting in that.
Definitely.
So bring that poor me victimhood to leadership. What do I need to do right now? What's the biggest gift I can give myself right now to bounce out of this state?
Yeah.
And that could be hand on heart. It could be those 3 questions. Is it good for me? It could be just checking in with your numbers. Oh, no wonder I'm feeling out of sorts because this and this happened this morning. So I'm sitting at an 8. Okay, I'm not going to make any life decisions right now while I'm sitting at an 8. Everyone has to wait.
Yeah.
So it's just that openness.
And then to your point too about the saying no, I think it's really important for people to realize that no doesn't mean never.
Yes.
No just means it's not in alignment right now. Maybe the questions were all no's. Is it good for me? Is it good for the others? Maybe in that environment or that situation or that energy, it's all
right
a no.
Here, right now.
Here, right now. Exactly. But so because and you talked to me a bit about that. The yeah buts. Oh, if I say no, then they'll never ask me again, or they'll never invite me, or all that kind of blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So remember that no doesn't mean nope, never ever ask me because I'll never be able to do this. And that's the thing too about the I used to. Okay, so you used to, but that means you can do it again if you want to.
Well, that I used to is that's a spiral.
Yes. Yeah, because there's some shame in there.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
this has been a really excellent conversation using your leadership. What's that?
I didn't think it would go like this.
No, but this has been, I think we've uncovered some really excellent tips. So let's go through, if you didn't have a pen or pencil in your hand and writing notes, we're going to run through the tips and hopefully recapture the tips and synopsis of what we were talking about. The first tip that I wrote down here was awareness, but it was about assuming the role, like assuming, like just saying I am a leader in my field, having the awareness.
Own it.
Yeah. Yes. Own it. That's perfect. Yes. Yeah.
Own your uniqueness.
Your unique gift, your unique flavor of leadership. It's there.
Yeah. And that sort of entangled into my next, and my one I had was the thread. So having that
certainty.
Awareness. Yeah, what is that thread? So for me, it's been problem solving all the way through. My first job at 16, actually my delivering milk was my first job, milk bottles, back in
Mhm.
the day, the coins. So I was a problem solver then. I was delivering milk that people needed in their house. So I was
Right.
problem solving. And how can I get more? I was constantly, how can I get more crates of milk on my trolley to deliver in half the time so I could have longer breaks in between. I was problem solving the whole
That's
time.
funny.
Thinking, how can I do this? How can I do this? And so it's that inner wisdom we have right there within us already. We already have that in there.
Yep.
But don't get yourself into a pickle to try and find what it is. Definitely reach out to Moira or I. We can
Definitely.
pull that out
We
a
can
lot
help you
quicker
find the
than
thread.
probably. I know, probably a lot quicker than you sitting in that, what if state. But there's definitely a thread of your unique leadership that's already been happening within
Definitely.
you.
Something that I often like to have my students and clients remind them of is that you are the boss of you. There's where your leadership. So I just, whenever I say that, I just think of, hands on my hips and I'm the boss of me. But from that, my tip was to remember that in that you get to choose your own words, thoughts, and energy. And it's by that you make an impact, whether you speak something out or not. It's just the thoughts, the words, and your energy that you sort of animate your own energy bubble with. That's you making an impact with your leadership, you leading by example, right?
Yeah. Well, I had the word envy written down.
Mm-hmm.
And you can entangle that into Moira's just tip then, or you can just put into a separate word on its own. It's just envy. Be aware of your envy to other people,
Or
and
comparison.
Comparison, because you're going on a downhill spiral when you're sitting in that. You're not sitting in that heart of leadership and seeing where you are.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We also referenced, again, the 4 agreements, because all 4 of those agreements from Don Miguel Ruiz totally fit into this definition of what it is to be a leader. So that's to be impeccable with your word, to not take things personally, to not make assumptions, and to always do your best. That is leadership, all 4 of them, right?
Yeah. Perfect. And I've got down here be grateful, gratitude.
Yes. Yep.
Gratitude, and handing that smile to another is another way of leading.
Definitely. Yep.
Be grateful for the positives, the negatives, the side swipes, be grateful for all that. And that is true leadership. But being able to share that gratitude with others is a true leader, because there's always enough. I think I said there's enough smiles to go around. You're never going to run out of smiles.
Yeah, I love that. It said we both smile.
We both just realized that we both had that little look then. Yeah.
My next one here that I have is that leaders walk their talk. They are in integrity with what they're speaking, what their mission in life is, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're showing up, sharing their gifts, being of service, but walking your talk. Very important part.
And I wrote underneath that was out of integrity.
Yes. That it showed that your body tells you that it yes, it's yes, moon boot. Very much so.
Walking your talk is definitely in integrity with yourself, and that's the leadership. Yeah. So I've got this tip. I don't actually know what it means. I see this in you. Help me see it in me.
Oh, I like that. That I think when we talked about that we were talking about the envy part.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, that's a lovely wee mantra or affirmation piece to just take away. For sure. I like that.
Just to pull it back to you. Yeah.
The last tip that I have is about worthiness, self-worth. And that to me, I kind of put that together with this idea of being a leader, is you have it. It's not something you have to aspire to or earn or learn. It's there. It's the fact that you're listening to this and breathing and being here you have it. And so that's then to align with that and develop it and realize that everything that you do and say has an impact.
And yeah, because I've written down, I'm a valuable person. Yeah, but. Yeah, but.
Like that. Yeah, but.
I put that right on I'm a valuable person. Yeah, but. Yeah. And that's that desperation of actually saying no.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I talked about the good word. Is it good for me? Is it good for others? And do I want to do it? And if it's not a all three yes, then it's a side swipe.
Yep. Then it's not doing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the tips I just wrote down then, which we didn't talk about using your leadership to make an impact, is know what you want.
Mm.
So definitely set your life's intentions, what you're looking at, but also be aware that the old favorite word, pivot, that things do come in and change things. I mean, and it can change just like that. So set your life's intentions, know what you're looking at, and sometimes you don't have to worry about the processes to get there. Sometimes not. But just know this is what I'd like to do. This is where I'm going for whatever. But just know that life's wobbles or life happens. Life happens.
Yep.
But I think you must know what you're looking for in life. So, fulfillment. What does that look like?
Happiness, peace, joy. What does that look like? Yeah.
So know your intentions, and that's a leader, is using your leadership to make an impact, is know what your outcome is.
Definitely.
Or what you're looking at. Yeah.
Definitely. Excellent tips to use your leadership to make an impact. Very cool. Awesome conversation. So, dear listeners, if you have any questions or comments, or this has kind of opened up a Pandora's box for you, please reach out. Let us know if you need some support or resources or ideas. You can contact us directly or on our Facebook page or other social media channels. We are here. But we'd also love to hear from you. What number were you at on our scale of 0 to 10? To begin with, did it change in the middle, and where are you now? So at the beginning, I was at a 2 and Deb was at a 1. So, dear Deb, where? You're 0?
0.
Yes.
What a lovely. Yeah. Okay. I'll carry on. What number are you?
I was 0 too. Remember I said at the beginning that I had all this throat, chesty stuff? It's all gone. I did have to mute myself a few times and have coughs, and but it's gone. So I obviously brought what I needed to.
Yeah, I love today's talk, and I think the topic's a bit different to what we normally talk about. But there's some incredible, valuable tips when I just look at the note now.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this too.
But they're simple tips. Well, I think they're simple. Please reach out if you don't. But they just look simple, like, oh, I can do this.
I've got this. Yeah, exactly. I can do this. I've got this. Yeah. Excellent. Very cool. Love this conversation. It's been great. So, dear listeners, if you got some value out of this, or if you loved all the tips, or we'd actually like to know which ones were your favorite, and do you think we missed any? Let us know on using leadership to make an impact. But if you liked what we had to share, we'd love for you to share this. Share it with the leaders in your life, the people that are around you, people that you know that you think that this would impact them. We would love for you to share this information on, as we love to put together our deliciously motivated mindset conversations.
Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you. This has been awesome. We will be back here again with you same time next week.
Thanks, people. Have an inspiring week.
Yes, have a beautiful week. Much love. Bye.